Now hear this. All who move up, and if you're asleep, wake up, cause this is new style thing called to get up floors and a ninja man stand up. Come in, new boy.
Cause you know in time we come as Agony Ninja. So hear this now. Lord, flower love the reggae, he love the reggae.
Good evening. Stand a bit further away. Good evening and welcome to Bar 122 and to this event, which is the launch of the new Grist Anthology, A Complicated Way of Being Ignored, which I wanted to call the collection, throwing Mother in the skip. But my mother was rather nervous about that, even when I did explain to her I would wait until she was dead first.
In the morning, she saw snowdrops pushing through the loam and 5 black crows dancing on his grave.
The morning after, when he awoke, he pulled the trench coat over his vest and brushed her on the cheek and said, "I'll be in my tool shed, spraying pesticides onto my cigarettes."
That ex-mining towns rest on their fossilised remains.
And a fat yellow ball perches high in the apple tree, like fruit, like the sun.
They claim iron constitutions, but the steel is in their gazes, and the gazes at the abyss.
Well, it's mine now, Elizabeth Scully or Scully. So I get a rubber, clamp the page under my left hand and rub out 1962. A line from spinster to girl, universal cultural position of women, a ring round Nazi lampshade.
The night is subdued, while the musk of the full moon lingers, and the creature sleeps.
It's lovely to be in this book, which is a lovely book with such great company as well, some wonderful poets, particularly Tim Ellis, who frequents a lot of the same places I do, and who beat me in the final of the inaugural York Poetry Slam last year. Which, I'm not bitter. None anymore anyway, because I'd slipped something in his drink.
Your cottage always smelled of wood smoke, turps and old baked beans. I live sort of pretty much under a flyover. I live in a house, so don't worry about me. But I live
She brought a tea chest full of rooks, an Alibaba basket full of rabbits, a shoebox full of voles and dormice, and a little stream patterned with streaks of minnowfish that she rolled out on the pavement like a Turkish rug.
I'm William Thirst Gaskill. I sometimes appear on the radio with on Radio Phoenix.
96.7.
The nation's #1 from coast to coast, or at least from Halifax to London foot.
Afterwards, curled up in a pile of coats, my mother peeled back my ears to reveal the gills I had drawn there with her eyeliner pencil.
And my parents would never have caved in, as I did, when you complained you did not get your maths homework, and eventually, instead of trying to explain it in another way, I heaved an internal sigh and just told you all the answers. And I worry a great deal about your development, because you are worse at finding things than anyone I've ever known. And your lies about, for example, what happened to those breakaways always seem to involve ninjas or blue dragons and are implausible.
I've had a fall, she says, and I find I'm shocked more by her turn of phrase than the accident itself.
Yeah, my dad was, he wanted to be a studio potter. He was trained by Bernard Leach, whose pots now sell for thousands and thousands of pounds. I've got a chipped ashtray that my dad swears was made by Bernard Leach at home, and I'm hoping it's going to be worth £7 grand on eBay at some point. You may know Grayson Perry is a studio potter who gets thousands and thousands of pounds for his pots, which, to be honest, aren't technically very good. They're often lopsided, and he hasn't cut them off the base properly. And my dad would just go through the roof if he saw them. Luckily, he died of a heart attack before Grayson Perry.
One man's blood is another man's stain. Okay.
Now hear this. All who move up, and if you're asleep, wake up, because this is new style thing called to get up floor and a ninja man stand up. Come in, rude boy.
Cause you know one time we come as Agony Ninja. So hear this now. Lord, flow, I love the reggae. You love the